Hey guys, welcome to Lesson 6 of Intermediate JavaScript. Congratulations on making it so far. This is the final lesson in Intermediate JavaScript, and today we will be finishing up our final project. First, we have a quick review from some of the previous lessons. Try pausing the video before I answer each question and think of the answer yourself. Okay, number 1. How do you check if a specific key is pressed? You can check if a specific key is pressed by using an if statement that checks for two things. First, you want to check if a key is pressed at all. You can do this by using the key is pressed, all one word, I and P, capitalized variable. This is a variable that is built into the JavaScript environment in Khan Academy, meaning you can basically use it without needing to change it anyway. Then you also want to check if a specific key is pressed, and you can do this by checking to see if the key code, again one word, C is capitalized, value is equal to a specific value. Every key has a unique key code value, and you can use this key code value to then verify that the specific key you want is pressed and not some other random key is being pressed. Second question. What are the parameters of the text function? The text function has three parameters: message, x, and y, in that order. The first parameter, message, is a string, meaning you have to surround it in double quotes or single quotes, and it's basically the text you want to display on screen. The second two parameters, x and y, are numbers, and they represent the position of the text on screen, specifically the position of the bottom left corner of the text. Now, let's start adding some key movement to our final project. In your var draw function, you'll want to use keys to control the position of the avatar. You should already have two variables, x and y, that control the position of your avatar. As a hint, you can use if statements to change these x and y variables depending on which key is pressed. Here we have this starter if statement right here, describing how to check if a specific key is pressed, like we talked about in the review questions. This specifically checks to see if the up key is pressed, because you're checking if key code equals up. However, you don't just only want to make your avatar move when the up key is pressed. Think about what other directions exist, and how you would make those changes using the x and y variables. Pause the video and try to implement movement, so when you use the arrow keys or press the arrow keys, your avatar will move accordingly. All finished? Let's take a look at what we did. So for our code, we have 4 if statements right here. Technically, the other 3 are else if statements, but if statements should also work. For each of the if statements, we have this key is pressed check, and then we check to see if the key code is equal to specific value. The first one checks if the up key is pressed, and if that happens, then we'll want to subtract some value from y to make our avatar move up. The second checks to see if the down key is pressed, then we want to increase the y value, and the next two check if the right key or left key is pressed, and then we change the x values accordingly. If we click on screen, you can see that our avatar moves accordingly using the arrow keys. The next thing we'll want to do is make a message appear on canvas when the mouse is touching or very close to touching your avatar. We have an example right here, so you'll see that this message appears when the mouse hovers over the avatar. In order to do this, we'll make two variables called Distex and Dist_y, and we will set them to the values x minus mouse x and y minus mouse y. Now, here we have two questions to check your understanding of what Distex and Dist_y are. So, first off, what do Distex and Dist_y represent? Pause the video and try to figure out the answer yourself. Okay, Distex and Dist_y represent the distance from the avatar center of the avatar to your mouse. Specifically, Distex represents the horizontal distance and Dist_y represents the vertical distance. And then question number 2, where should we first declare Distex and Dist_y? We'll want to first declare Distex and Dist_y either at the top of your code, somewhere near where you declared x and y, or inside the draw function. Either one will work, but in our code, we chose to declare Distex and Dist_y where we declared x and y. Then, in the draw function, we will update Distex and Dist_y every time, setting them to x minus mouse x and y minus mouse y. Then we'll add an if statement to make a message appear whenever the mouse is touching or super close to touching your avatar. Now, pause the video and try to implement all of this. So you'll want to create 2 variables called Distex and Dist_y. You'll want to update these variables inside the draw function. And finally, you want to make an if statement that shows a message when the mouse touches the avatar. All finished? Let's check out the answers. Here's the code to first update Distex and Dist_y. So Distex and Dist_y we want to set to mouse x minus x and mouse y minus y. Then we'll want to display text if touching the avatar via if statements. And our if statement here checks to see if Distex is within a range of values. We want to see if Distex is greater than -50 and less than 50. And same for Dist_y. We also want to check if the mouse is within the right range of values vertically. So we check to see if Dist_y is less than 50 and greater than -50. Then we draw the text if touched. And that's it for our final project. If you want to try out some extra challenges, here we have 4 done early challenges that you can try. For the first one, if your avatar does not yet flash colors, you'll want to make it flash colors. Then you want to make it so that the message does not flash colors, even though your avatar does. For the second challenge, try displaying a different message based on the position of the avatar when you are touching or nearly touching it. For the third challenge, try adding a function to change the background based on the position of your avatar. So, depending on which corner of the screen your avatar is in, the background is a different color. And then finally, for the fourth challenge, make the message follow your avatar. You can pause the video now and try to implement any or all of these challenges if you'd like. Now, finally, here's a quick recap going over our lesson. As always, try pausing the video after each question is asked and think of the answer yourself. Number 1, why do we use and instead of or in the example below? As you may remember, and checks if both or all conditions are true, while or will return true even if just one of the conditions are true. We want to make sure that all of these 4 conditions here are true in order to guarantee that our mouse is within range. If we only check if one of these values are true, then our mouse may not be in range. It may just simply satisfy one of these inequalities, and it wouldn't work correctly. And then number 2, why do we have to check for both negative and positive values? So why do we have both this Distex is less than 50 and Distex is greater than -50 here in this if statement? We want both of these inequalities because we want to check to see if Distex is within a range of values. If we only checked to see if Distex was less than a value, then it would still return true even once we've left the avatar. For example, let's imagine here this cute little planet is our avatar. If we only had Distex is less than 50, that meant the if statement would run and display the message, even if we're outside the avatar. So as long as we're to the left of the avatar, then it would return true. And the same goes for Dist_y. And that's all for this course. Thank you so much for attending. Hopefully you had fun or learned something. And that's it. Have a great day.